Friends and fiends far and near, I'm going to give you a couple of household tips for collectors all over the world, because if you're like me, you've probably got boxes full of rubber guys that are melting and getting slimy and slurpy and they're gooing all over each other. And oh my God, I've got some of these guys that have survived the slime attack. So this is what happened. I opened a box of cool guys and they were all really slimy. So then I put them in this Tupperware container, and then I soaked it in hot water with Dawn dish soap. And here's some of the guys I thought you might want to take a look at. Who remembers, see, they're still stuck together. Who remembers Creeple People? Now, Creeple People were really cool. And this has actually got the original paper on them. It was a pencil topper. And why we thought pencil toppers were amazing, I don't know. But it was a very 1960s kind of thing to do. And then here's a cool dinosaur. He was all slimy. And he's not from Thingmaker at all. Now, here's something that I thought I was really creative as a kid. So the Thingmaker molds, they came and then you'd make a spider and you'd poke him out. Or you'd make those 1, 2, 3, 4 guys and poke them out. But I thought, I'm going to make quilts. That's what I call these. I don't know if anybody ever did anything that creative, but they were my quilts of Thingmaker stuff. And then over here, I have another one. I attached I made a quilt and I attached string to it so that I can, hang it somewhere? I don't know. And speaking of hanging, who made Thingmaker skeletons? They were super duper cool. And even with my bad fingering, I could put these guys together because they were kind of like, not tongue and groove, but like post and hole. And then suddenly you had a skeleton. And here's some other guys we'll just talk about real quick because I thought they were the coolest of the thing. This guy's a jiggler. He's got a suction cup. Well, right there. And I loved and played with all these guys. Here's a series of, I thought they were bootleg trolls. And I always pretended they were the villains in the piece. Here's another one. I called these chains. See how I didn't make a quilt, but I would attach them all. And then on the back of this, who remembers, they were like paper notebook clasps. And you got them, and then you put them in the Thingmaker thing. And then my fingers are way too big. And then suddenly you'd have a ring. Like, wow, look at that ring I'm wearing. Wow, isn't that exciting? And then here's a couple of guys from Frito-Lay. After they retired the Frito Bandito, they became WC Fritos. Yeah, very much so. And he was like the spokesman for Fritos. And then Smokey the Bear, he was slimy. This guy was a skeleton that was, he was a happy octopus that was really slimy. Here was a sloth, prehistoric mammals. He came from that set. He was slimy. Here's another skeleton. I can't remember what these guys were called. Anybody know? This was a 2nd or 3rd generation. I think they were called Ookie Spookies. But you'll have to take a look at them, everybody, and tell me later. Oh, here's finger puppets. They're still always popular. Hi, I'm a friendly finger puppet. Oh, and here's a poor guy. He was once an ugly, but he had a trouble. He ran into a match of mine, or maybe a sparkler. And can you tell that he's like all burned up? I think so. Yeah, I mean, he had a hard day. Oh, look at these two guys. These are Freakies. Freakies was a really cool series of, it was a cereal. And he was the leader of the Freakies. I don't remember them, but Freakies was like, they don't have anything that cool. And this guy, he was one of my favorite command army guys because he was just so tough. And, oh my goodness, this was called Mr. Bones. I love this series of candy. This was in the 70s. And it was like all these bones and skulls, and they sort of fit together like Lego or something. Not quite like Lego, but they all fit together and you make a skeleton. And you've got this cool little coffin. So there's where all these guys came from. Most of them are not so slimy now. There's a cool Spider-Man that came out of I've never seen him before. Anybody see this series of Marvel heroes that came out of vending machines? There's a Superman that's had a better day. You can see he's still kind of cursed by sliminess. There's a Zoofy Goofy. Anybody remember Zoofy Goofies? They were another Thingmaker toy. But a lot of these guys, like poor Donald Duck, he got slimed and it didn't all come off of him. I don't know what his story is. And then here's I know you're getting tired. You're going, enough junk. These guys were kind of like for little fingers, they were like, you make a little finger, but So, there we are. I better wave goodbye. This guy's going, you've been talking too long. Shut up. They're bored to death. Are they bored to death? I don't know. You tell me, Mr. Wolfman. Oh. Anyway, those are all my friends. My incredible camera woman is trying to capture the moment. And again, Dawn dish soap, a little bit of warm water, let them soak for a long time, maybe stir it up once in a while, and you'll have yourself a little soup of clean guys. That's me, Crazed Collector, far and far away. Have fun. Enjoy. Just check your rubber guys or they'll melt. All right. See you later. Bye.